and welcome to another episode of Superpeople's Charities Keeping Connection. Today we're speaking to Diverse Abilities, a Dorset-based charity who work with adults and children with profound learning and physical difficulties and their families. If you'd first like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Helen. I'm the Development Manager in the fundraising team at Diverse Abilities.
Brilliant. If you'd just like to tell our viewers who Diverse Abilities are and the kind of services that you provide.
Diverse Abilities is a Dorset charity. We've been running in Dorset now for over 65 years after being founded by a local mum whose daughter was born with cerebral palsy, and at the time there weren't any services available for her and her family, so she and a few other parents started a group, and that's grown to an organisation now that supports over 1,000 people in Dorset each year. We've got quite a wide range of services that families can access. They include a specialist school called Langside School, which supports children with very profound disabilities and medical needs as well. We have a children's respite home, Lily's Place, and we provide domiciliary care in families' own homes as well. And then adult support, which takes place at our centre called the Beehive, which is a therapy and activity centre in Poole, and also through supported living. We've got quite a lot of bungalows out in the community where typically two individuals live together as flatmates, and we provide the 24-hour support to enable them to live their lives as fully as they can.
The COVID-19 crisis has affected everyone this year. For a charity that work with quite vulnerable people in the community, how has it affected Diverse Abilities?
The impact has been on every area of the work that we do, but it has varied quite a bit in how it has affected us. So my amazing colleagues are out there, they are on the front line providing support, and they've been doing that from the very beginning. We've been really pleased that we've been able to continue to provide services as much as we have. In fact, some of our areas of work have increased in what we're doing. Our school had to close because that was government guidelines, but we've been providing families with remote support, and it's been the same for our school holiday clubs for young people. We've been providing remote support as best we can and sessions to try and keep that community going, to provide support and give children some familiarity in activities and faces that they're used to working with. Our children's respite home though, Lily's Place, and the domiciliary care that we run from there as well have both remained open. We've been providing support in families' own homes. Now, obviously, some families have made the decision that they didn't want that because their children are incredibly vulnerable. But similarly, where there are so many needs to balance in the household, actually having some additional support has been a lifeline to some families as well. And obviously, all of what we've done has been with the backdrop of PPE, very clear hygiene requirements. We've restructured our teams across the charity to try and minimise overlap and make sure families are only exposed to working with key individuals. Our adult services have a similar story of it varying between the services. So our centre, the Beehive, had to close its doors, but we've been providing remote support. So every day, contacting people via video call. And for some, that's been a really amazing element for them. They're maybe living at home with elderly parents. To have the faces that they're familiar with, contacting them every day has been really important. And then we provide different packs, sensory activities and so on for them to do each week. We've definitely seen negative impacts with a lot of people we support. The loneliness, physical impact of not having physiotherapy regularly, the reduction in the type of stimulation. So we're desperately keen to try and get as many people back to what was normal for them before as we can. But that is against the backdrop from a charity perspective of increased costs and quite a big loss of voluntary income as well. So it's a challenge, but my colleagues have done a really incredible job.
I think it's really commendable. Like, it sounds like you've really been able to adapt to the challenging situation. Could you tell us a little bit more about the remote contact? Is it just for socialisation? Are there learning activities going on? What's that all about?
It's varied. So the intention is that the remote support, sort of video calls daily and so on, is for socialisation and to try and keep the relationship with key workers, so that when people can return, some of whom have already, to provide some sort of more emergency respite for their carers, the relationships are still strong, that the trust and familiarity are still there. And then the packs that we've sent home have been a combination of sensory orientated packs. Some have been trying to encourage people outdoors, so providing everything to plant plants, decorate the pots. We want to make sure that everything is included, so from the soil upwards, for example, with a plant, so that families don't have anything additional to find. It's sorted. Or arts, to try and help people with expressing how they're feeling. So trying to tap into ways that they can benefit from fresh, maybe something that's harder for the family to instigate themselves, but if we can get some creativity, if we can get outside in the fresh air, then there's benefits to that. But with it, making sure it's also something that we can provide to people easily without it being pressure, because the last thing families need is more pressure.
Superpeople are here to say thanks to charities like you that are doing such great work in the community as well. It's been a very challenging time, but have there been any highlights over the last few months?
Well, interestingly, actually, I was speaking to a colleague of mine who said one of the really good aspects to have come from this is that focus and individualized support, because whilst we try to be person focused all the time, inevitably you're still then running a group activity at any one time. You might have several sessions going on at once, but 4 or 5 people might be accessing any one at one time. So there's been such a drive for individualized support, and an even greater focus on the relationship building between the support worker and the person they're supporting.
Is there any way that people can get involved, people who listen to this? How do we find out about diverse abilities? Can we volunteer? Can we raise money? What can we do to help?
Any of those things are amazing, yes. I mean, as a charity, we normally fundraise about £750,000 every year, and that has been massively impacted by this. We have quite a big portfolio of events, and we've had to postpone those for this year. And a lot of the support that would ordinarily come from sort of businesses in the Dorset community has understandably reduced a lot at the moment. So if people are able to either donate or fundraise, any kind of do a challenge at home or anything like that they would like to do, it would be incredible. And similarly, if they think they'd like to be involved in volunteering going forward, we'd love to hear from people. The best ways to find out really is via our social media or our website. So our website is diverseabilities.org.uk. And if they want to know specifically about our COVID response, it's diverseabilities.org.uk/emergency. And that's also where you can make donations. And we're on Facebook and Instagram and the like as Diverse Abilities. So you can also find out lots of bits about us there. We are hoping to start running some sort of remote events in the coming months. So we normally have a big gala ball in November, and we're going to be running that as a dine at home initiative. So best place to look out for that really is on our social media channels. And also we're hoping to do quite a lot of activity around Christmas too. So hopefully people can get involved with joining us to fundraise as we come towards the end of the year, and we all need a bit of cheering up as the nights draw in.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks very much for speaking to us today. It's been really lovely, and everyone go and check out Diverse Abilities.
Thank you.